What is up, everybody? Good morning and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be getting into this 15 Floodgate. I know it's been a little while since I've actually uploaded, so I apologize for the delay on this, but I figured we would get right back into these and get going on some last minute push keys before the end of the season. Today, I just kind of got into a run with a bunch of pugs. This isn't going to be a perfect run, but this is actually the same pug route that I did share with the whole channel on that other video. So this is going to be something that I use consistently, and we will showcase that you can use this in a 15. So right off the rip here, we're going to get this nice big pull. We're going to Bloodlust, making sure to interrupt these the casters as well. So we're going to use our Skull Bash and then also Incapacitating Roar. We're going to commit Incarn as well. We're going to basically pop everything, Heart of the Wild, Nature's Vigil, just to help out with some healing. And our DPS are actually cranking here as well, so we are going to do pretty well in this pull, even though we do lose our healer. So yeah, this pull is going to go pretty well. Once the casters are dead, this pull can be pretty easy. Yeah, it's just going to go down without a hitch, and you know, we've pretty much taken out the entire pull before our monk is actually taken out. So we're going to be sitting in a pretty good spot, 10% count accomplished, and we will go from there. Going into this next pull, we want to take it a little bit easier because everyone has surely blown everything on that last pull. So we're just going to do a couple contractors, a surveyor, these soldiers that don't really do anything, and then a couple hyenas here. So this pull is going to be very, very easy. We're just going to pop survival instincts off the rip. We're going to gather up the pull, and that is going to be a-okay. And pretty much all of these pulls, you're going to see me cycle some defensive cooldowns as well. So just making sure that I have something up at least at the pull start just so I don't get bricked. And then after that, I'm pretty much immortal just with the amount of Iron Furs I can get. Lunar being farmed because of all of our Thrash uses and everything like that. So this pull, going to be very, very easy. Not a whole lot of threatening things here. The only thing that's really scary is just that one caster mob. Just kick it. And he will not do nearly enough damage to kill someone unless he is just left uninterrupted. This next pull, again, going to be a pretty easy pull, but I actually mistimed this one just a little bit. I should have gotten the divers right at the start of this pull, but I was a little bit worried about just the wind-ups and making sure that everyone is surviving. Our rogue gets absolutely worked by the wind-ups. He doesn't seem to know that those will do damage. So he's going to go down pretty quickly there, and we're going to be down a DPS. So I end up just waiting. I don't want to pull anything extra and risk putting our team in too much danger. I definitely could have committed on these divers here, but we're going to kill this scaffolding and get the architect back down here before I actually decide to go ahead and do the divers. So could have gotten them a lot earlier, and the architect has about 84 million HP and the divers have about 150, I think. Yeah, so it's not going to work out great as far as timing is concerned, but the rogue did have to run back, so we were short on a little bit of damage. We're going to waste a little bit of time here, but we are going to actually time this 15 with about 4.5, 5 minutes, something like that on the clock. So even with a couple blunders here, we're going to be very, very good on time. It's going to be a pretty safe route, so feel free to use this in any other keys that you are looking to time. So we're going to take out these divers here. It's going to take a while, but that's okay. Unfortunately, we can't actually deal with this pile of bombs until the divers are dead. So again, this is going to be about 20 seconds, something like that, or even 30 seconds probably that we wasted. So we could have done this much, much quicker if I had just been better on that pull. Right here, the patrol is on the right-hand side, and we want to skip this. I really don't like doing this. I know a lot of people recently have been doing this with the whole, this whole little section right here, but I like to actually go in here, skip it. The orange swirlies on the ground are really, really annoying to deal with, so we don't want to do that. And then we'll pull the loader bots from up top as usual. We'll drag those down into this pull as well. We're going to pop Incarn so we can do maximum damage. And those loader bots actually always charge wind up right as they get to the bottom of the stairs. So if you drag them into this pull, they'll always use wind up. If you're standing over here, they're never going to get to you. I Ursul's them just to make sure that they're staying out of the way of all of our melee, because we are running that kind of melee cleave physical comp and getting it rocking on from there. So yeah, we're just going to kill pretty much the rest of this pull. These These loader bots are going to have significantly more health than everything else just because they arrived at the pull late, but we still get plenty of cleave, and this is going to be a very, very safe pull as well. I don't know why I'm on 10 stacks of this this magic debuff, but you know, it's all right. But as far as this pull is concerned, I mean, the windup is really the only thing that will kill you. So we're trying to make sure that we pull things that are not going to be guaranteed kills or anything like that. So that was a very, very easy pull. As you can see, the healer didn't need to do that much healing at all during that pull. So damage was kept very, 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 very steady. So right here, we're going to go ahead and grab these 2 patrols and then go into Big Mama. Big Mama is a very, very scary fight for tanks. It's going to be absolutely horrifying. We're going to pop Rage of the Sleeper right off the rip here, so we're going to have just a little bit of extra survivability, and then we're going to soak that first Electro Crush. It is important to realize that if you are playing tank, you are going to get hit by that big Electro Crush hit, and then you are also going to take a pretty hefty dot, which in combination with the shoots and these soldiers stacking up this damage on you, it can hurt quite a bit. So we're going to pop Barkskin for that second Electro Crush. As you can see, we don't have access to Survival Instincts, but we do have access to Incarn. So we're really just going to be waiting and rotating cooldowns on this boss here. So we're going to get the jump start here. This is when we're going to pop Heart of the Wild, maybe try and get a little bit of extra damage in, even though I want to keep my Iron for stacks, just so that when those Electro Crushes come in, we are feeling a little bit more confident living those. We'll finish that first burst phase up, and we'll try and get aggro on these mecha drones as fast as humanly possible. We're going to pop Incarnation, so we're going to have plenty of bonus health to survive that next hit of Electro Crush. It's going to take us pretty low, but that is a-okay. It's fine to be taken low. And in this dungeon, I actually do end up running a Verse Flask, just because once I get to higher keys, I just want to feel absolutely indestructible in these keys. And mechanics like that, a lot of extra Verse can come in handy. We still have Incarn rolling, so we're going to be sitting pretty. Don't need to commit Barkskin or anything like that to deal with it. And we're just going to keep thrashing, keep doing any damage that we can. And yeah, this boss really is just rinse and repeat. But I'm going to show this entire video. I'm not going to skip ahead or anything like that, like I've done before, just because I think people want to see the whole fight. I'll give you guys the power to to skip ahead if you want to. But we'll go ahead and kill this next Mecha Drone. Our healer is an absolute warrior. He just absolutely pumps. I don't have access to Nature's Vigil, so I can't really help him out at all. But we're going to throw in a couple Mauls in here, try and get some extra damage on this boss, and then we will have Nature's Vigil for the next burn phase. We will get another set of drones here. They all spawn in a pretty good spot, so we're going to be able to thrash all of those. We're going to soak up that next Electro Crush with the help of Rage of the Sleeper. And Survival Instincts, I believe, as well. So we're going to not take very much damage from that one at all. And then we're going to start moving back over to this corner. We should only get one more burn phase, so we have plenty of space left in the room. Here, ordinarily, I would probably grab the two-pack behind me in this situation and grab it into the boss, just so that we can get a little bit of extra cleave or funnel. I would probably do that, especially if you have like an Arcane Mage or something like that, or if the boss is like higher on health, just so that you can have a good couple funnel targets to cleave off of. But here in this situation, don't really need to do it. Just going to focus on taking out the boss. This is still going to be a 15, so pretty dangerous as we're going through. We'll go ahead and kill Big Mama in her jumpstart phase, and then immediately go over to this next pull, pop Incarn, because this pull can be kind of dangerous, or we just want to kill it as fast as humanly possible. I'm not really worried about dying in a lot of parts of this dungeon, so most of the time Incarn is just going to be used as an offensive cooldown just to get maximum damage here. As you can see, we're still doing about 5 million DPS on this pull, so feeling pretty good. Those Blood Blasts do hurt as well, so just be careful if you are tanking this. You're going to get hit by, if you get hit by those, you're going to be taking some hurt. But yeah, the rest of this pull doesn't really do a whole lot. The Blood Warper should be your primary target. He's going to do that Siphon cast, put a big old healing absorb on absolutely everybody. It just hurts. Your healer just has to kind of tough it out and get through it. But I think, honestly, at this point, we're probably through a little bit of the hard part of the dungeon. We still have like Swamp Face, and we're actually going to do bubbles in this run. So yeah, that's really going to be the hard part. But everything else, very, very doable. So right here, pretty much the same pull, just contractors and this blood warper here. We're going to soak up that blood blast. We're going to get that warp blood cast. Try and interrupt the reload on that demolitionist, just so that he doesn't have to. He doesn't get a chance to cast and do more swirlies. We're going to interrupt him again with incapacitating roar, and keep looking to interrupt that reload cast just to make sure that he's going to do absolutely nothing. Completely taking that one mob out of the fight, and then the only thing that we have to worry about is the trick shot from the Mecha Drone Sniper, which gets kicked there, and this pull is easy peasy. You just want to make sure that everything that you're doing in this pull is making it easier for your healer to heal that warp blood cast, which I think we did a pretty good job of there. As you can see, not a whole lot of extra stuff went off, and our healer is still doing an absolute ridiculous amount of healing on that pull. So it can be very, very demanding on healers, lots of burst healing. So just make sure that if you're healing this, you got something going for that. Anything that you can do is always helpful. So right here, we're going to go ahead and kill the scaffolding and then look to move the architect into this other pull over here. Something I have learned about this pull is that as a tank, I kind of like get aggro on this architect and then tank over by these wood planks over here. I noticed a couple times when I was doing this pull and I was tanking the boss too close, or this pull just too close to that scaffolding over there, you pull a bunch of these bomb crabs over by the edge, and you really don't want that. So when that architect comes right down, I'm going to take a couple steps back just to make sure that we don't get any extra cleave on those bomb crabs, make sure those don't extra pull, and that makes this pull much, much safer because those bomb crabs will explode when they die. So that was just like a little adjustment that I made from the first time that I did this key, and it makes a huge difference. There's already kind of a lot of annoying damage with the nail guns going out and then the surveyors using their cast. It's just really, really annoying. So we're going to go ahead and grab these bombshell crabs, and again, we're going to do the same thing that we did with the divers. The architect is about 60, 70 million HP, something like that, and then we're going to pull these bomb crabs in that have about 150 million. So we're definitely going to waste a little bit of time here. I actually, in this moment, I definitely thought we had an assassination rogue, so I'm just trying to get these as close as I can to the next pull without like actually pulling it, just to save a couple seconds maybe on the travel time. But I think the rogue needs to stealth, which we really don't need to do. And then someone ends up pulling these shredinators behind me, so I'm like, okay, well, we can't get a re-stealth. It is what it is. So we'll go ahead and get into this next pull here. We're going to pop skin just to make sure that we don't die off rip. Always have a defensive going when you pull. We're going to make sure we get the first cast on the surveyor and then pull everything else in. I don't want to rush this pull or anything like that, especially because we started it off a little bit rocky or kind of unplanned. So I just wanted to make sure that everyone kind of gets settled. Everyone gets, what they need to do. The shredinators will live plenty of time, so dragging stuff in a little bit late is not going to be the end of the world for this pull. We'll have plenty of funnel time going on here. So yeah, pretty easy pull, pretty similar to the first part of the dungeon. You can pre-move those shredinations as well, so if you're a ranged DPS or if you're a melee DPS, you can be moving when those come out and they don't actually hit you. At least that first tick doesn't hit you. That can help your healer out a little bit, but as you can see, not a huge healing demand on this encounter as well. Very, very easy for most people to live, and I eat a couple ticks of the flamethrower and I do not care at all. So this next boss is where we want to use our our second bloodlust of the dungeon. This boss is just really, really annoying. And especially in a comp like this, I think we get pretty unlucky with the dispels as well. So the warrior, the monk, and the rogue and I are all in in melee. I won't ever get the dispel, but as you can see, the rogue has to run all the way out in order to get that dispel. I think he's going to get that third bomb, but he doesn't, so we're going to have a little bit of an issue kind of trying to get these to work. And Bront is on the other side of the encounter area, so I probably could have tried to run over to soak the far bomb or angle him towards that. But as you can see, then we get the warrior dispel. He has no mobility, so he has to actually get cocooned, so he even makes it over to the bomb, gets dispelled, and we take care of the bombs, but just under the wire. Could have been pretty bad. So we're going to go ahead and just try and keep dragging Bront onto Kiza and just get a bunch of cleave there. And then I see the bomb spawn in melee, so I'm trying to drag Bront over the top of it just so that he charges right through it off the rip, and then we get 2 bombs instead of just 1. We're going to do 2 charges. He's always going to charge the tank last, so we're going to have him charge right back at one of those bombs over there, and then we will have another Dispel on the Outlaw Rogue, who is just going to zip on over. We'll get the last Dispel on him after the charges, and we are going to be in a good spot. It's really just unfortunate that we lose a ton of uptime on the boss here, just because of the way that you have to run out, but that is a-okay. This boss really doesn't do anything to tanks. I know I've been talking kind of a lot about what is just going on in the dungeon and not necessarily what I'm doing as a tank, but truly just kind of do your regular rotation as a tank. Bront is really never going to kill you if you're really like supposed to be in the key that you're doing. I've never had trouble living this fight. I think even if you kill Kiza really, really early, and I think I've lived like 260% bonus damage from Bront on my bear. On like a 12 or a 13, something like that. So even when this guy is giga buffed, he's not going to really kill you or do anything like that. So again, Kiza's going to jump away. We're just going to go ahead and drag Bront on over. Once again, one of the bombs spawns in melee, so we're going to position Bront behind it so that whichever bomb we choose, he's basically going to hit this one close to the boss and then kill the other bomb that we were looking to soak. The warrior is going to go ahead and get the 2 bombs there, and then Bront is going to charge me last. I see there's kind of some swirlies there, so I opt to charge the far one, and we should be a-okay to just take out the boss. I stand right here on the gun, and apparently everyone else had the same idea. No one goes to click the bomb pile, so, maybe a little bit awkward, but that's okay. We're with pugs. It doesn't matter. We're going to go in here, and we're going to grab a couple of these bomb crabs in with these kelps. I know some people like to do divers with the kelps. Me, personally, I like the bomb crabs. They're a little bit more consistent, and they do more tank damage than like any other. And then the divers do. The divers, I think, hit random targets as well. So I just want to be able to be the primary target of like these pinch attacks, because I know I'm never going to die. I have Incarn, I have Lunar Beam. Like, there's no shot that I'm going to die ever. So I want to make sure that everyone else is staying safe, especially with these, the kelp AoE casts and all that sort of thing. We're going to be a little bit low on CC here, so a couple Jettison kelps are going to go off. I wait till we use all of our CC on the first round of them, and then I pop Nature's Vigil for the second round just to see if I can help out the healer a little bit with that. And this pull is going to live quite a bit of time. It's more mobs than we are reasonably going to be able to deal with a lot of classes that have capped AoE and stuff like that. But yeah, we kill the rest of them, get nice and topped off. We'll kill the bomb crabs. The bomb crabs will explode, but they're not going to do too much to us just because we have, we're topped off and it's all good. So going into Swamp Face, this boss is just incredibly annoying. Honestly, I'm kind of over it. I love this dungeon, I really do, but going into Swamp Face 2 at 14 minutes or so, this was the part where I didn't really know if we were going to time the key, honestly. It was getting a little bit sketchy just because, and especially after that happens, our warrior just stands a little bit too close to the boss, and he doesn't give me any seconds to press any buttons here. So he just gets meleeed. We lose another 15 seconds, and I'm like, okay, sub 14 minutes. Now we're actually in trouble. Now we got to absolutely motor to get this done. We cannot mess up. And we actually get a lot of really weird puddles here. You'll kind of see here in a second. I get dragged into the boss right there. Monk drops really low. And then there's a bunch of puddles that just feel like they're just going at weird angles. Maybe I'm just an idiot, but yeah, they feel like they're going in places that I've never had to dodge them before. So as per everybody's strategy, we're always going to be moving to the left for that mudslide cast. So when that frontal comes out, we have a pretty consistent direction that we've already agreed on as a community. And then Awaken the Swamp, that's when you want to be using any kind of personals, anything like that. And right here we get absolutely kind of griefed by these puddles, and I actually drag someone to me, but it's delayed enough where I don't drag them into the 3 puddles, and I'm just able to soak those. Mudslide comes out, we're going to go to the left here, and then we clean it up for the back half of this fight, I think. The first half was definitely a little bit touch and go, but we do still have a B-res, so I'm going to be in a pretty good spot. And as I'm recording this, because I don't edit or anything like that, I'm just gonna preface that the last boss is not my proudest moment. So if you stay till the end here, I hope you can forgive me for the tomfoolery that is to come. Do not play the last boss well at all. And honestly, I don't think I played this whole dungeon well, just as far as positioning. This boss, I definitely shouldn't have gotten hit by as many pools as I did. So I was a little bit out of practice. Haven't gotten a chance to play a whole lot of WoW this week. So forgive me for not being the best example, but I still think this was a really good key to learn from. The routing actually worked out really, really well. And for the most part, everything was pretty safe. I don't really know how that warrior survived there. We're going to pop some defensives here. We're going to pop Barkskin for that Sludge Claws. Always make sure that you have some kind of defensive going if you're a bear. I like to try and use Barkskin first, then like Rage, Incarn, Survival Instincts if you have it, and then back to Bark, back to Rage and Sleeper, and kind of rotate through them like that. You should only have to do like one full rotation of cooldowns, and then you should be all good. So if the boss isn't dead at that point, good luck, soldier. It is what it is. So we killed the boss in just about 2 minutes, something like that, 2.5 minutes. So we're feeling pretty good at this point. Unfortunately, we do still have to contend with bubbles, but this healer's an absolute Chad, so I'm not super worried. He's been doing a great job healing this entire dungeon. Haven't felt unsafe at all, and he's been covering for a lot of silly mistakes that we've made as well. So I'm feeling really, really confident going into bubbles here. I know a lot of people have been skipping. If you're a VDH, you're probably never doing this mob ever, but you know, we're a bear and this is a pug, and I don't want to do any kind of fancy stuff. We're just going to do the stuff that you really need to do. Make sure that the count works out. So Bubble Burp's going to come out. We're going to bait those bubbles all together and then move Bubbles just a little bit so that he can get out of the way of those, especially with an all melee comp. I want to try and create a little bit more distance between those just because everyone has to be stacked on top of Bubbles here. We're going to pop Barkskin, make sure that we can live ourselves, and then try and help out the healer as much as humanly possible just by making sure that he doesn't have to worry about me at all. The Bubble Burp is going to come out again. We're going to move the boss a little bit away from those as much as we can, just so that people don't have to stack too close to the bubbles that are already on the ground. We'll get one more backwash cast. And our healer absolutely blasts. There shouldn't be any other damage going out, so he just has to heal that very, very heavy-taking dot. And we will once again drag him just a bit away from the bubbles on the ground. Easy peasy. Right here, the patrol is in a pretty bad spot, so it's on the other side of the bridge. I'm going to go ahead and skull bash this electrician. Let as few of these casts go off as you possibly can. We're going to rage at the sleeper, use a survival or frenzied regen just to make sure that we top ourselves off as the pull starts. And then we're going to go ahead and I see my skull bash coming off cooldown in about a second or so, so I wait till it is, and then I go ahead and pull the bridge patrol and kick it immediately, just because I can't rely on anyone else to bring those in. We don't have a lot of range kicks or anything like that, and I don't have like a kick tracker or anything like that, so I don't really know. But yeah, that's how you can play around not having a kick tracker as a tank. Just wait till you can do it. Pull goes down without a hitch, and right here, I was really worried about time when we started Swamp Face, but at this point, we have 2 more pulls and then a boss with about 9 minutes on the clock, so feeling much, much more confident here. We're going to skip these 2 electricians, pull the contractor and the soldier because they do absolutely nothing. Doesn't really matter at all. Pull the inspector. And then we're going to go right into this jump starter double electrician. This is where you want to use all of your CC. This jump starter is going to do a lot of AoE damage. He's going to hit the tank pretty hard. So any CC that I can, I've been using. So I use Incap Roar to interrupt once. I use my Skull Bash, and then I use Ursul's Typhoon just to see if we can knock those back, pull them back in. We also get another leg sweep. We get an intimidation. We get a cheap shot as well. All of that was unfortunately layered on top of each other. And then we let 1 lightning bolt go off. But at this point, we've CC'd these mobs to absolute oblivion. So we do very, very well on that pull. And once the electricians are dead, then you're really just dealing with this jump starter because the inspector and everything else doesn't really do anything at all. So yeah, that was about as good as our CC chain could have been. The rogue absolutely blasts. I'm so sorry. And we're going to go into this last jump starter pack with 5% more count to get. This pull is really, really scary, so I think on higher keys you might actually consider lusting this. Especially on my paladin, I've found that living this can be very, very challenging, actually. So If you are a tank that isn't a bear, or like a VDH, I think VDH lives this pretty easily, and my bear feels pretty tanky on this pull. But like Paladin, and like Warrior, I don't know, they just feel like they get absolutely bodied by this pull. So if you're worried about living and it's a higher key or something like that, this isn't a bad place to lust. I think a lot of tanks have a little bit more survivability on the boss compared to these mobs, and I've just bottomed out on my Paladin sometimes on this pull. So use your best judgment, but if you can save it for the boss, I think it's always better to save less for the boss, unless you're actually in danger of dying on that pull. So we don't trigger the RP, so the boss is going to be sitting here for just a second. And I actually get stunned twice in this boss, so that's pretty bad. We're going to pop Bloodlust, Incarn, and I'm going to save Nature's Vigil because we already have Bloodlust going. I don't need to layer on any more help healing on top of it or anything like that. We're just going to focus on surviving here, and the healer should be able to take care of the rest. My screen is absolutely cracked out right now. And we're going to stay and position ourselves with our back to this little console over here. Pop Bark Skin for the Thunder Punch. Be sitting in a very, very good spot. The Giga Zaps come out, so the melee are going to take those to the middle of the room. And the boss nears about 75% health. We'll get our first Leaping Sparks here. And right here, I kind of look for one of these pools, and I see a couple people using the ones on the side. So I try and get my spark to go through this middle section, but it doesn't actually go. And so the monk does a very good job of keeping me alive, but I end up getting stunned for 7 seconds. But honestly, even if you get stunned as a tank, the boss isn't really hitting you for that much during that phase, so it's definitely healable, especially if you get some kind of external, or you have any kind of like defensive stacking, something like that up on you at the time. So we'll pop Nature's Vigil for the second one. We don't have Bloodlust going. Any extra help that you can is always helpful in this situation. So Personals on the second one, you have Bloodlust for the first one. It's all good. Right here, we're going to again have Bark Skin for the Thunder Punch. It's going to kind of work out like that. If you're playing Bear, you're going to always have Bark Skin for that Thunder Punch after he does his intermission. So we'll get another Leaping Sparks here, and I'm like, okay, this time, not going to get stunned for sure. So I'm going to go ahead and try and run these over here, and I see all these, like, I don't know what I'm thinking right now. I don't know what we're doing. It's just a bad time. But I get Thunder Punched here, pop a Frenzied Regen on myself, and I'm trying to get to this pool, and I don't know what I'm doing, and I just get stunned again. So don't learn from me as far as this boss is concerned. But the rest of the dungeon, fine. Yeah, that was great. But this is just like absolutely embarrassing. Yeah, I was honestly hesitant to post this just because of that. But don't worry, the next one, we got it. We got it for sure. Our healer is an absolute warrior as usual, heals through the intermission very, very easily. And we're going to go ahead and save Bark Skin for this Thunder Punch. We're going to go ahead and press that again. Had a couple options there. Could have used Survival Instincts as well. And it might even be better if you have Survival Instincts for the Thunder Punch. Use that just in case you get stunned. Then you can use Bark Skin through a stun. That can be pretty helpful. And here, again, I'm like, okay, don't worry. This time we got it. Leaping Sparks, don't worry. This is my mechanic. Boom. Easy. First try, and we'll finish off the boss with about 4 minutes left on the clock. So pretty smooth run, honestly. We still have a couple of mistakes and lose a little bit of time just off deaths. I get stunned there a couple times, but we still timed the 15. Very, very nice. So I hope you guys learned something from this run. I hope you guys, still stick around for the channel. Like the video if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see more. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.